never ran that mile.
Oh, I'm down.
I've
Not
read
right
the
now.
book,
I'm not running.
but I didn't, like, I wasn't able to, like, I read the book once, and then I went back over it to put some notes down because I was going to do a presentation to the Senate. But I wasn't able to finish that over winter break, and as soon as I got back to school, I haven't been able to touch it again.
It's difficult to do entirely because there's some things that I would love to complete that. So if you find
Yeah.
if they were done right,
You gonna fight?
No.
If you don't
Who'd
know
you
it,
fight?
you can't do it.
Yeah, fight Jaren.
There's some things I remember that were gonna hurt somebody to use in there. It's just
One of my
I was gonna like write down.
when I used to run meetings, one of my favorites was go to the chair and just introduce a motion and put some stuff. It's a lot of like redundancy and it's like, can I have a motion for that? All you really need to say is like you don't need to actually speak out the entire motion. If the chair says, I entertain a motion to have.
when are you gonna teach me how to make a souffle?
Otherwise,
Your favorite dog got a tooth got like 4 deep puncture wounds.
Tomorrow night.
You just got a surgery. Yeah,
No, it was tomorrow night though.
I'm not there.
Oh, in Merced.
Oh,
I know, but I'm trying to think of what day it is. What is that,
Oh,
Monday?
I'm going to Wingstop to support my.
Staples in the leg.
Oh, are you talking about today? Yeah, hey
I know it
guys,
was
we
Pat.
should all go to Wingstop after this.
Oh,
Support Dad.
If you go tomorrow, it supports Pat.
Oh yeah.
It supports.
Yeah.
We should go to Wingstop both days.
Okay, I love Wing so much, I'm down to do that.
I would totally rather just donate like $40 to both clubs.
Yeah.
I love Wingstop. Their Louisiana rub.
Buffalo Wild Wings is
I
so
like the original. It's pretty buffalo. They're atomic, not atomic.
I've tried the
The atomic, I think I like. I'm coughing. I'll take another bite. It burns. It burns my lips. My lips are so red.
I went to
It's technically, if you read the
first
last
time I
line
went
of
to
the background on the first
I
paragraph,
got,
or the
10
second to
pieces
every
freshman
freshman
year.
any student.
And I ate it. I ate it.
I was talking to some friends. I was like, I blew out. If you want to
That's like the first time I
Well, that is honestly cute.
Yeah,
I got, you know,
not on the bill, but outside of the bill, the difference is that for people who are first generation college students, it allows their parents to walk with them on stage and see competitions. No, not from my understanding. I may
Everyone was trying.
yeah, I may be wrong. I don't know. That's what I was told though.
I have fun with these rolly chairs. People don't know.
You could be like a Southern Belle. Kind of. Yeah.
Just the way you said, like, I tried one of those wings.
I love rolly chairs.
Valerie. Oh, and Valerie.
Do you like rolly chairs?
Yeah, but I don't spend it in second
I don't like rolling ones. Like I said.
Southern Belle.
I eventually will be at one of the public ones. Eventually, I'm trying.
Because you can technically do it in
Oh,
both
hey,
languages. Like
we're 2 minutes out of starting, and we have
No.
Tell me one.
6. We're 2 minutes out of starting, and we don't even have
What's up, Civic?
How many do we have?
You look so happy.
I could be the next girl. I could be Miriam too. And be an intern.
Nice writing class today.
Oh, it's very nice.
Just being rarely apologetic.
If we have exactly
So I'm gonna
Look at all these people that I'm thanking tonight.
Can you?
Yeah, because it needs to be
Everyone's
good.
gone. He's excused. And then because I don't.
What happens to your arms?
I laid down and it popped out fast.
Oh, are you okay?
After 6 hours, I think I've never done
I'm
it.
bringing it on. Yeah, like they're, when they're doing the cheer battle, they're like, that's alright.
No. Oh my gosh, that was also in Princess Diaries. Remember? When she's gonna like hit the ball, they're like, that's alright, that's okay.
Oh, yeah. I was like, is it okay? No, then they're like, then she had to get into it. I can do it.
Were you 500 a month? Oh, I guess for school.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. Notice, I get yesterday, and it's really funny. I didn't even get like, there's a general email that sent out.
Maybe that one's broken. I can do it.
This week we're doing ASUCM stuff and like the SWOT analysis.
They must Is there in it?
Just take a seat. Take a seat anywhere.
I love it. That's what I like to see.
Where's Ivan?
He's at, I think, Schoolboy Q. Maybe.
Wait, what's
I think that's where they went. I think that's where Emmanuel is for sure.
There we go.
Schoolboy Q, the concert, like rap. I think. I feel like I heard that, but I could be wrong.
I know who's Google.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We have quorum. We have exactly 9.
So no one needs to pee.
Sorry, Matt.
Oh, and we go now.
Oh, you have
Oh,
four,
four
huh?
left.
Did you ask him about the
Lauren's
$50
going.
for the hotel?
She's going. I'm going.
Did you ask him
Going
about
where?
the $300 for the hotel?
He was there.
I sent him a list.
I wish I had speed recognition.
He sent me that he was going to post on Facebook.
But then it gets awkward when I have to enter my password.
Why are,
But
why are chairs
that's what I
$5?
texted him.
Are you pulling?
Did you ask him why the chairs are $5?
Yeah, I am.
No, I didn't ask him. I asked him a question.
Because it's better to have it as the first thing voted on by next senators, or we can just,
Legislate out of session.
Let me see. I'll send it to him.
or I can just help collect 900 signatures
No, he's too late for
He
that.
had texted me
for
back.
the fall.
Okay.
He's like, I will put the question on.
Next semester you could do it.
Everybody,
Important.
please be seated. We're going to start the meeting. What about now?
Where's Mondo's over there? Okay, one person goes left.
Yeah, that clock is definitely wrong.
It's 7:31.
Okay.
Senator Huang. Here. And Senator Zisser.
Here.
12.
All right. Moving on to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Senator Daniels.
I move to table the approval the minutes for
We're on the
Let the
approval.
agenda. Oh yeah, I have motion to approve the agenda.
The motion has been made. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator He. Any discussion? Is anyone opposed? All right. The agenda has been approved. Moving on to the approval of the minutes. Senator Daniels.
I move to table the approval minutes for April 3rd for 1 week.
Motion has been made for tabling. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Taylor. Discussion. Senator Daniels.
When I read over the minutes, there was some of the motions that were made didn't match up from what was from the video online. So
Any other discussion? All right. Moving on to discussion. We move on to a vote. All in favor of tabling minutes? Okay. Senator Jones. It's unanimous. Okay. So moving on to the guest speaker, Kyle Hoffman, the Vice Chancellor for Development and Online Relations. Please give him a round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you don't mind if I join you at the table. Steve told me that I was supposed to speak from the podium. That seems so artificial. I thought I'd join you if you don't mind.
No problem.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to come and visit. And I'll tell you a little bit about my role here at UC Merced, about myself, and then I'd love to entertain any questions that you might have for me in my capacity here as Vice Chancellor for Development and Alumni Relations. First, let me tell you, I have to admit that I'm a relative newcomer to UC Merced. I will celebrate my 2nd anniversary next month, but I celebrate in September my 30th anniversary with the University of California. I started my career at UC Santa Barbara, my alma mater, and then spent over 20 years at UC Riverside, where I saw that campus grow from about 8,000 to now over 22,000. So when I found out that there was an opportunity here at UC Merced, and I listened carefully to the exciting things that were happening, I was not only intrigued about being a part of the continued birth of the campus, but I saw some real parallels between my 20 years at UCR and being a part of that kind of growth and what I know will be occurring here at your alma mater. My responsibilities, and let me say just one other thing about that. How many seniors at the table? Okay, and in the room? Hey, there. Great. Because we like to think of you guys as alumni and residents. And I'll explain that in a moment. But I want to tell you that I found this career path as a student at my alma mater. I had no idea there was such a career field got involved as an intern in the alumni office at UC Santa Barbara, and it sort of opened some doors to me. So I'm really going to encourage all of you seniors and other students in the room, if you haven't taken advantage of internship opportunities, please do so. It can open your eyes to opportunities you don't even know exist. So now let me turn to my responsibilities here at UC Merced. My office is charged with raising external support for the campus, and that support can take various forms. The obvious one, the development piece, is fundraising on behalf of the campus, right? We, in a traditional or a university setting, a lot of that fundraising would focus on alumni. But as you all know, our alumni are relatively few and certainly very young. We presently have, before this year's graduating class, just over 3,000 UC Merced alumni, okay? And for the most part, they're all under the age of 30. So in terms of source of major fundraising for the campus, it's limited. Now we have some very ambitious alumni out there that have told us they want to be the first to give $1 million gift to their alma mater. But we're going to have to be patient in that regard. We've got a couple of other challenges as a very young institution. Is we're obviously located in a somewhat geographically remote area of the state. We're not surrounded by a lot of industrial and corporate support. So we've had to be very creative in the way we approach our fundraising. We've been extremely fortunate in that there were people that believed in this institution from the very beginning, that they worked very hard to bring the 10th UC campus to Merced, and they've stepped up with generous support. I hope as you walk around your campus, you see a number of names associated with buildings, represent some of those major donors that believe so much in the institution that they've given significantly. And when I say significantly, I hope you'll be as impressed as I am when I tell you, since inception, this campus has raised more than $90 million in external support. And we have an endowment, which is now totaling well over $30 million. An endowment, of course, continues to support various areas, academic chairs, student scholarships, fellowships, in perpetuity. They make a large enough gift that the interest generated off of that gift supports that area forevermore. So we're really proud of how far we've come despite some of our challenges, but we've had to be creative, and we will continue to look at every opportunity to bring greater support for your university. I know I'm gonna run out of time here, but I'm gonna also share with you that in my business, if anybody in my role were to walk into their university and ask people, is there need or are there areas you would like us to raise financial support, there would be an endless demand for that kind of support, right? So we have to be careful. We have to look at the institution's highest priorities and then determine where the sources of support might be and try to make the match. The reason I tell you that is because I spent almost a year, my first year, working with the academic and administrative leadership of the campus to identify not just what our needs were, but what were our highest priority needs for the university as we move forward. And then my team went about trying to find the matches where we could find support. I also tell you that because one of those 6 or 7 very top priorities was additional support to enhance the UC Merced student experience. And so you all, whether you know it or not, have benefited from that, some of that external support. The Bright Center for Student Success is a great example, but the Gallo Recreation Center is another one. Student scholarships, and for any of you that are looking towards graduate work, we've done a great deal of work in raising important graduate student fellowships as well. So I hope you take some pride in knowing that the people that are out there working on trying to educate our students while they're on campus to the fact that you're really beginning a lifelong relationship with this campus. I know it's easy to get caught up in your classes and your finals and the responsibilities of being a college student, but that's going to be a fleeting experience, quite frankly. You'll be graduates and alumni of this institution for the rest of your lives. And we hope you will continue to be engaged. We hope that you'll not only consider financial support, but that you'll continue to be our ambassadors to the world. Who better to talk about the merits of a UC Merced education than our graduates? Furthermore, you will be hopefully advocates. Although state state support for the University of California has diminished over the last many years, it's still important that we remind our state legislators of the importance to this university, to the state, and to the country, and to the world for that matter. So as you move on in your professional lives, if you stay in the state of California, you're a voter in this state, you have a voice that will help your university in reminding our elected officials of the importance of continued support. And then, of course, internship opportunities, employment opportunities. We're hoping you'll stay connected, you'll think about your alma mater and the students of tomorrow and how you might help them find their way. Other areas quickly, we also are responsible, of course, for the database that manages all of our various constituencies, whether they're alumni, donors, prospective donors, government officials. We have to have a database that sort of manages and tracks our relationships so we can continue to build on those relationships. Bottom line, that's a lot of what we do in my area, is just build relationships that will bring additional support to this campus. And I'm going to end quickly on a high note, I hope, especially for you graduating seniors around the table. My office is also playing a leadership role in our annual commencement exercises. And I'm really pleased to tell you that last year we went through a bit of a change, moving from one ceremony to 2 ceremonies. But the driving reasoning behind that was to enhance the experience of our graduates and their families. It allowed us to have shorter duration ceremonies that were more meaningful for the graduates that participated in each. We're going to maintain that model, as I hope those of you that are graduating in the room are already aware. And so we're expecting another spectacular commencement weekend with morning ceremonies so we can enjoy the coolest part of the day. With that, I probably bored you to tears, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
We've got a couple minutes for questions.
Good.
Senator He.
So what kind of characteristics and activities, can we as a student government be doing to encourage corporate sponsors or other sponsors to help us out?
Excellent question. I mean, a couple of things immediately come to mind. One, you all represent important networks to your university. If you have connections in corporate or industrial areas, please contact me or my office, because I actually have a director of corporate foundation relations that focuses on that specific area, because we've been very fortunate. Now, you as a student organization, you as individuals, you can also help us by continuing to tell the UC Merced story. I mentioned this is my 3rd UC campus. I've never been more excited, more impressed, because I'm seeing this campus sort of come into its own. There are a lot of people out there that don't yet know about us, but I think when you get them to listen, they take note. And that's, again, I think been partly what's been responsible for our fundraising successes. People want to invest in this story. Does that answer your question at all?
Yeah.
If you want me to go further?
Well, I don't know if you have any specifics, but that's a pretty good answer.
Senator Zisser.
So you mentioned about the alumni, and so probably about 3,000 alumni that have left, and under 30. Do you know, or if a lot of them have left Merced and gone back to their hometown, or are you kind of hoping the alumni stay in Merced to build up the city because it's a growing city, or do you guys plan to encourage alumni to stay in Merced?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I can tell you anecdotally that our alumni are not all staying here, but they're certainly not all going back to their hometowns. They're spread, although we've only got 3,000, they're spread pretty much all over the country. They're in very small pockets and concentrations, admittedly, but they're finding opportunity both all over the state of California and outside the state. I think in time, this is the anecdotal evidence I can share. 2 previous institutions, I know that a lot of our alumni, when opportunities are presented, will stay in the area. But that's kind of part of the community's responsibility and the ongoing responsibility of this institution is to start developing those opportunities for our young graduates. And so let me give you, I'm going to take the opportunity to make a small plug. Since my arrival on campus, I've hired maybe a dozen people onto my team. Some of my best hires, some of the people I'm proudest of, are UC Merced graduates. And that's a little bit unusual because you recognize entry-level professionals, but they're doing an awesome job because they have this love and appreciation for this campus. And so I can't, solve all the problems that we face in retaining our alumni in the area, but everybody needs to own that one.
Time for one more question if there's any. All right. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, so moving on to the chair's report. Seeing as how I'm not Ivan, but I am still the chair, I'm just going to say please bear with me. I'm not used to chairing meetings according to Robert's rules. This is the first time that I've actually had to chair a meeting. I know the rules, but application is a little bit harder than theory. So please bear with me. Other than that, I've got nothing else to report. So moving on to elected officers reports. If there's any elected officers around the room that would like to give a report.
Elected and appointed officers.
Elected and appointed officers.
Hi guys, so I have like a ton of stuff. Delaney and Commissioner for Leadership Outreach, and I'm giving the General Commission report tonight. And there's a lot, so please bear with me. General notes, all of the commissioners are currently working to create binders to pass on to the next generation, which is something that everyone has mentioned wanting to do. They all want to send their great gratitude and thanks for the budget approval last week. And we're also working on creating / revising bylaws. Some of the commissions have bylaws already, but we're working on revising those. So be expecting some conversations with some commissioners asking you to represent their bylaws at the Senate table. Moving on to the actual commissions. Bobcat Theater, just so you know, y'all are going to get this report online, and it includes meeting times. So if you want to attend any of their meetings, you're going to be able to. So for Bobcat Theater, I'm very excited about this. They're going to be putting on a Midsummer Night's Dream. Over the last month, they've been auditioning and casting, and that's all done. The tentative production date is May 3rd or 4th, probably both days. There's going to be 2 showings, likely in the amphitheater. So, yay. And when that comes out, when advertisements are ready, please post them on your Facebooks, like advertise it as much as possible. Bobcat Media. They're planning to film during Bobcat Day, both interviewing prospective students, taking videos of the different performances that are going to be going on. There's like 15 to 20 performances, as well as just kind of the general day-to-day goings on and what Bobcat's going to be. And they're working as well on collaborating with the Diversity Commission to film the Spring Festival activities. That's going to include performances as well. And they're trying to do a long-term media project that's going to carry on not only into next year, but probably for as long as the commission exists. And Jason will tell you a little bit more about that in the coming weeks. Business and Commerce, they're working on creating a guidebook for future commissioners and drafting letters to corporations for sponsorship opportunity, which is kind of what Kyle just talked about. So they're working on doing some of that and building a relationship with the Chamber of Commerce to provide some city internship opportunities with Municipal Relations Commission. Diversity Commission I'm going to come back to because there's a whole lot, and Juan may be presenting that himself later. Education and awareness. So the Democrat versus Republican debate was a great success for everybody that went. They had a really good time and enjoyed it. It was definitely an awesome night to be able to see some of our larger political groups on campus hashing it out. It was filmed by RAM. ASUCM Archive. So they're working on that as a commission, and that's going to be developing an archive to store information on achievements, projects, events, and increasing the accountability of ASUCM, those elected and appointed. My commission. So Bobcat Day, I've been bugging y'all about it a lot. It's this coming Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., probably a little bit earlier than 4. We're thinking more like 3. I sent out the registration link. Thank you to all of those who filled it out. Big shout out to Court. Every single justice is going to be there. Yay, Court. So definitely, if you haven't filled that out yet, you want to participate at the table, fill it out. I'm going to be posting a schedule on Friday with all the times that everybody's signed up for. Experience UC Merced is going to be going on the next 2 weeks. It's through admissions, and ASUCM today, we actually provided materials that's going to be going to each of those incoming students. So 600 students that are incoming freshmen will be receiving information from ASUCM, giving them an idea of what it is, so that they will hopefully get involved when they are actually students here. Club presentations, so far we've presented to 5 different organizations. We've got a lot of positive feedback, and we have 5 presentations that are in the books for the next week and a half. So those are going really well. People like them a lot. The Ascend session for ASUCM, if any of you are interested, this week actually actually, my commission staff has started the actual planning. We've just got a basic idea of what the session's gonna consist of, but we'd really like input from y'all. So if you have any ideas, please let me know, and you can attend my meeting. I'm giving you my meeting time. Municipal relations. He was a student presenter at Sunshine Week. He told you about that a little bit when he was here. The videos are available on YouTube. I actually watched them, and they're pretty entertaining. You should check them out. You can search Merced County Sunshine Week on YouTube. He's working on the internship application. So he's established some internship positions, and that application is going to be available to students at large soon. Explore Merced is April 26th. The form is available now on his website that he mentioned to you last week. The political town hall with sheriff and treasurer candidates is going to be April 15th, and the political town hall with congressional candidates is going to be April 16th. These are very, very important events, and please try to get students to attend them. They need to be, they need to know who the candidates are. This is something that's going to be important for everybody. And city council, some of us in this room were at that meeting this past week, and they're working on creating a standing committee to meet with UC. I actually spoke to one of the council members about it, and he's been in contact with Yusuf, so that's going to happen soon. Neighborhood relations. How much time do I have?
Just
Okay. Neighborhood relations. They recently were interviewed by Between Friends, which, if you don't know, it's a magazine that goes out to a lot of different organizations throughout Merced County, and it is recognizing them for their service connections that they've made. It tends to also be kind of a Latino magazine, so it goes to a lot of the some of the underdeveloped communities in Merced County. So they did that last couple of weeks, and this coming week they're going to be presenting to Building Healthy Communities, which is a group of all of the different service organizations throughout Merced. And they're building that relationship for the future, as well as building a relationship with Alpha Phi Omega, which is one of our largest service professional fraternities on campus. Sustainability, this is an awesome one. Earth Day is April 22nd from 10 to 2. You recently allocated, I believe it was $3,500 or $3,000 to it. So definitely go check it out. It's going to be a great opportunity for students to learn about sustainable practices through fun games and activities. So she would really, Noella has expressed she would really like you to advertise it as well. So as soon as we get those advertisements to you, put them all over Facebook. And she's looking into having an ASUCM garden that's going to be a long-term sustainable project. Nothing like a huge garden, but basically like an area of garden that you would be able to grow relatively inexpensive crops. I think so. Yeah. Diversity, I'm going to come to this now and really bear with me because this is a lot. Okay, so Spring Festival is the largest MCSC event that's coming up, and it's a lot like Winter Festival. The cultural RCOs are going to be working together to celebrate their culture and showcasing their music, art, dance, and etc. The date is April 25th from 12 to 3 on Scholars Lane, and there is a registration form on Cat Life for any RCOs that are interested. So for those who are representing clubs in the room, please try to fill that out. And there's 3 businesses in Merced community that are participating, local businesses. The recognition banquet is going to be May 3rd from 11 to 4 at Gateway Gardens, black and white attire, so we're going formal for this one. And that's going to be where the commission recognizes individuals from organizations who are chosen from your groups that have made outstanding achievements at UC Merced with recognition. Then we have the National Student Leadership Diversity Convention. That's a large-scale convention happening in April where they're going to learn about different issues, so LGBT issues, women's issues, other diverse things that they're going to bring back to campus. And this one, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about in public forum as kind of my work personality. But Sexual Assault Awareness Month is the month of April. This is something that we all need to be really vigilant about supporting the activities. But actually, diversity has been in it since the very beginning. This is something that we've been planning since December. And they have been at every one of our planning meetings, the Women's Council under the Diversity Commission. So, Juan may come and tell you some more detailed stuff about all that, but that was the General Commission's report.
Question. So for the Commissioner of Sustainability, is she going to be working with ESW on the current gardens that already exist?
Yes, that's the plan. Yeah, it's going to take some additional planning. Like she's going to have to decide what crops we want to do, and that's something that she wants input from all of you. So that's kind of why she wanted me to present it today, so that you knew where she was thinking about going with that. But yes, she does plan to work with ESW. She's not going to like create her own thing. She's going to collaborate with them.
Does anyone else have any other questions for her? All right.
Sorry, I know that was like really long-winded. My bad.
So this weekend we had SLC. It went really well. We did a lot of lobbying. One specifically on SB 1210, which allows for AB 540 students to have access to Cal grants, loans, things that are state, whatever. So this morning we got good news. It passed out of the Rules Committee and it's on its way to the Appropriations Committee. So lobbying efforts do work. Hopefully the vote was 5-0. I also had my board meeting on Friday night. So we discussed things varying from the UAW strike that happened on our campus. I know that a lot of the undergrad students weren't very receptive of it, whereas other campuses, students were, working with their TAs and graduate students like on the strike. So we had a vote on a resolution, and I personally had to abstain from all votes because our campus was not. We don't have that issue on our campus, so it's best to not say anything than to be in favor of something that our campus clearly doesn't support. Next, we discussed an MOU between Council of Presidents and UCSA. So the Memorandum of Understanding states that UCSA is the official voice of UC students, especially in regards to system-wide issues and with system-wide and in-district lobbying. Whereas members of Council of Presidents by a campus association are the official voice of UC students on their campus, especially in regards to campus-specific issues. So we discussed the MOU, how Council of Presidents and UCSA, there's always been conflicts, and basically we're trying to address a few things within it. And then next we discussed basically the things that we were lobbying for on Monday. But for the most part, it was good things. That's all.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Thank you for coming up. Is there anyone else?
So, hi everyone, Zach Daniel, Chair of the Dining Services Board. As many of you know, we moved the actual interview with Jason Souza to next week due to scheduling issues. So I'm letting everyone know now. So there's another 5 days to let questions from the student population. I wanted to especially thank Senator Garland, Senator Gray, as well as Commissioner Inman for sharing the event. I encourage everyone here, as many of our constituents has issues with dining services, to share the event, get people to actually ask questions about dining services. As I said before, and I'll say it again, dining services is here to serve all students. With that being said, if their primary goal is to serve the students that we represent, then it's our job to bring any issues that the students that we also serve to dining services. And this would be the best way to have the person that's in charge of dining services answer any questions any student may have about dining service, where may it be employment issues, food choice, the nutrition information about or the ingredients. Everyone here has questions. I mean, I have some questions too that I want to ask, but I do want to say it'd be a greater success if everyone would go and share the event. It's about 3 clicks, takes about 45 seconds of your time, and it helps out students because everyone has questions, and who else to answer it but the person who runs it. Thank you.
Are there any other elected or appointed officers?
Hi everybody, Arash, the ASUCM Chief Justice. We're going to be handing out rough drafts of the bylaws that we've been working on for the last very long while. I'd like to repeat that these are rough drafts. They should be read as such. I just wanted to give you guys a hard copy so you have the opportunity to take a look at everything and submit any suggestions, concerns, comments, stuff like that. If you do have suggestions, concerns, comments, please either write it on this packet and give it to one of the justices, or send an email to myself or one of the justices. I really don't want to get into that situation where there are 100 copies of these things flying around and everybody has their own copy that they're editing. The justices have a working document, and any changes that anybody suggests will be discussed, deliberated, etc. And then, another copy will be written. So, just please, if you, not verbal communication, written, always written. We need to be able to organize this. Otherwise, as you guys might have heard, things are going well with court. We're getting a lot of work done. I think we're meeting like a few times a week now. We have good attendance on everything. Everything's great. And I just want to say props to my justices. They're doing a really good job. And that's about it. Yeah, take a look at this. Yes.
And would you like to receive suggestions from Senate by?
Before the next court meeting, please, because I'd like to review them.
When is the next court meeting? Is it the one that's scheduled on Monday?
Yeah, I mean official court meeting, so that would be on Monday.
Okay. Thank you for coming up. Alright, are there any other elected or appointed officers? Sure.
I started proxying for Director of Student Activities, Ish, Produska. So he just wanted to say that thank you everyone for coming out to Coachella. He hopes that you all had a great time and that our next event will be the dance-off. It will be held at the Merced Theater. Transportation provided if you live on campus. It will be on April 26th.
Are there any other elected or appointed officers? Right. Moving on to officers' reports. Senator Pro Tem Ford. I've already given my report, but the never mind. Sergeant at Arms. You have to vote.
Yeah.
We do? Okay. All right. Then I'll entertain a motion for the election of a temporary Senator Pro Tem Ford. Manuel?
So moved. Wait, I motion to initiate elections for a temporary pro tempore as stated by bylaws.
The motion has been made. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Garland. Okay, any discussion? Okay. All right, so we're just gonna move into elections. Is there any nominations? Anything else?
I'd like to nominate Senator Mondo.
I accept. All right. Are there any other nominations? Okay. So, Senator Mondo, seeing as how there's no opposition, you are now the temporary Senator Pro Tempore.
Cool. Senate Pro Tempore for a day.
All right. So, do you have a report?
Hi guys. I guess I'm going to tell you now. Great job, everybody. Other than that, no, honestly, thank you. Hopefully Adam doesn't have to leave the meeting at any point tonight. If he does, I'm sure I could find a way to figure everything out. No, I'm just joking. I can do it. Thanks, guys. That's all I have to say.
All right. Sergeant at Arms.
Hello, everyone. Guess what day it is?
Wednesday.
Hump day? No, guys, you know the drill. It's every week. But happy Wednesday, and if you all didn't sign in, please sign in right there at the table. Other than that, I have nothing to report. Let's have a good meeting, a good week, and good life.
Thank you. Secretary.
So no one's in danger of recall. And also, after attending the meeting, Meet the Candidates event yesterday, I heard some remarks about the hostility of Senate. And so, taking a leaf from the leadership programs that I've been attending, I would like to encourage all of you by compliments. So, thank you, Ken and Jaron, for your wonderful work on leading the budget hearing. It was very lengthy, but thankfully not as lengthy as last year. Thank you to all the RCOs, all of you there and here, for coming to the budget meeting. I want to thank Allie for authoring her first legislation, which is going to come next week. Ivan for being a great chair. Miriam for taking so many minutes. Harry for trying to motion. Dominique for all of her day jokes. Hillary for being our #1 fan, Marisol for really representing all of the engineers, and Emmanuel for asking all of these questions, and everyone for just being there and trying to stay through this meeting. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. ICC liaison.
Okay, so at the last ICC meeting, I delivered our budget approval, and I asked them, or showed them how to get there, to look at the budget for next year. And the other thing ICC is currently doing, they're looking for the next year's chair for ICC and that board. That's all I have to report.
All right. Court liaison.
So court met, they had a really productive meeting. They went over election guidelines, the status of elections. It's chugging along slowly. They are also making headway, as everyone sees, with the court bylaw draft right in front of them. And as I said before, if any issue arises within ASUCM, we have the judicial branch there to serve as the official check on the other branches. So any grievances, report. There's a friendly web forum on at asucm.ucmerced.edu. Just go to leadership, the judicial branch, and it will be in the sidebar. It's really simple. You just have to log in. It'll fill out your name for you, your email. Just type in your respondent's name. There's people directory. You can Google that and just fill out the case and submit. That's all.
Thank you. All right, moving on to committee reports. Budget and Finance. Chair Senator Mondo.
Budget and Finance met today. Senators He and I'm blanking on the other member of our committee, Great, that's right. Senator He and Gray had excused absences. We went over we only went over one piece of legislation, as Senator Daniels has stated that he would be taking one of his bill off the table. The meeting only lasted 8 minutes. It was great. We did it jointly with the Student Activities Committee because they already had the room reserved, and that's kind of happened to be available.
All right.
We'll be meeting tomorrow in the Acorn Room, by the way, at 4.
All right. Okay. Academic Affairs, seeing as how I'm normally the chair, the vice chair will be giving the report. Senator Rosenberg.
We did not meet. Nothing to report.
All right. Student Activities. Senator Wong.
Like Senator Mondo said, we had a joint committee meeting. Senator Jones was not there. He wasn't excused, but Carter was there, and myself included.
All right. Student Advocacy.
Everyone was there, just in case anyone wanted to go to our meeting times. They are 10 a.m. in the Lantern. You can noticeably notice us because of Senator Zisser is very tall, and Senator Taylor has blonde hair. Sorry. We went through the bill. We had a couple of concerns, which we tried to contact Senator Garay on before the meeting, since he unfortunately could not be here. He addressed some of our concerns, and some of these comments will be brought up to the table.
Thank you. Moving on to the advisors. President's report. Brandon.
Righty. Be a pretty short report tonight. Thank you. Alrighty. So I wanted to thank Jefferson for giving me the opportunity to assist him in a lobbying trip. I was able to be a delegation leader. It was a great opportunity to lead a lot of the students into many of the delegation meetings. We discussed a lot of really important legislation as well. As mentioned, I believe SB 1210. regarding trying to have loans for our AB 540 undocumented community on campus. As we know, there's a $5,000 to $6,000 gap for that community where they're unable to pay for it, and it is a group that is largely unable to get gainful employment during college that's of equal wage to try and cover that. So I think that's a great program. Also SB 967 to help address sexual assault on campuses all across the state to create consistent guidelines. And SB 1017, one of my favorites, which is the oil severance tax to raise up to $1 billion for higher education in California as a permanent solution to help increase UC funding as well. So that was a great opportunity, and I wanted to thank him. I also want to give a shout out to Court 2. I have been in ASUCM for a long ass time, and every single year I have seen a court flounder around and really struggle. And this year, it is extremely moving to walk into the office and look in there and see everybody eating and talking about court bylaws, actively engaged in the conversation, to see people arguing about them in the office, to actually see the court justices really putting in the time. So kudos to all the justices that are doing so much work, and especially kudos to Arash, the Chief Justice, who has really been leading this new group. You're doing a great job, and I'm really excited about that. That's really special to me. In addition, I really want to encourage everybody to help support student employees, and especially Senator Daniel in his role. He's working very hard with an organization, a group, that represents 200 plus student employees in the dining center, trying to get a lot of information about that, and trying to get students who have a lot of issues, obviously, with the dining center, to really get a lot of information directly from the people that are making those policies. Their motto is to really serve all students, and we really need to make sure that we are fulfilling that and making sure that they are accountable for their promises. Lastly, as was mentioned last week and brought up for the constitutional amendment, I asked that I mentioned it had to be done at that meeting due to things in the Constitution. If you've read the amendment process, this cannot be considered for this election, so I would like to continue doing this next year during fall semester with a lot of these changes. So I've asked Senator Daniel to be able to drop and rescind this bill to be brought up at a later time as something to discuss. Unfortunately, it did not make the timeline for elections, but I think we're going to be able to get a lot of this stuff done next year. With that said, for the CLCC bill, I really wanted to express my support for this. This is something that I, as a senator, endorsed in the past and supported. It got a lot of people in our campus able to really have a very special ceremony that was very much positive and supportive of a culture that really represents a huge amount of our campus, especially as a Hispanic serving institution with an MSI designation. And in addition to that, I know one of the issues has been brought up as to why this specific community. This is one of the communities we have at UC Merced where a lot of the students, they want to bring family, they want to bring friends, and we have to be cognizant that though English may be what most people know, not everybody does know English. And to see, your daughter or your son or whoever going and graduating, I think being able to, of course, understand that is hugely important. So I think that was a really important thing for me last year. I think it was a great event. I had the opportunity to attend it and meet with them about a few of the stuff with Noel last year. So I ask that you support this bill. I know that there are other things on the table that will be coming up that are similar, and I promise I will go through the budget with you with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that we can find money for both events. I believe that there is definitely enough that we can find from the rollover from unspent line items, and I will help you with that personally to make sure we can fund both things. With that, I'd like to open it up to any questions you all might have.
Are there any questions?
Great, thank you.
Anyone else? Moving on to the treasurer's report.
Good evening, everyone. Here's the Treasury Report for the 9th of April, 2014. So for general fund, $101,374.06. Remember, that's money that just hasn't even been spent also by the, that's been allocated but also still hasn't yet been spent by the clubs. $251,441.18. That's the amount granted. The amount spent by the clubs, $162,149.87. Let's see. First two the same. Those two always the same. And then Senate bill line unallocated $15,582.75, including the rollover, $6,300. And then if you add up the rollover, I'll have the final number the next slide. $6,318.82. This time last week, once again, it's this. It will change next week though because the Senate had a meeting on the 10th, but not 9th. I could have just changed it, but so I keep it there. There's the amount we have. You add up the rollover. And then the visual. So for the bills, Bill 74, the Chicano Latino, it says that on there, but it also says for the commencement. I don't know why it says on there. $13,575 is the request. Last year they requested $9,000. They spent $10,537.71, thus going over by $1,537.71. And the year before that, Senate granted them $6,300. They spent $4,731.21, thus having a leftover of $1,568.79. And that's it. That's the only the other bills been taken off the table, and we didn't really have anything financial.
Are there any questions? Senator Wong.
Looking at the unallocated line item from Senate, I was curious, do you know if those events are towards the end of the year? Because that's
What do you mean? Explain.
so for the unallocated, I was just wondering if clubs are not using that money because
So this is what Senate hasn't even given out yet. So that means that Senate is not giving out this money at all. Like that, this is the rollover that's been, that clubs have spent, and that there's money that's now being rolled over.
Are there any other questions? Senator P.
So for the bill we have on the table today, why is it, do you think that the cost increase is justified?
Well, obviously they couldn't be. Obviously $9,000 wasn't enough for them last time. What I'm looking at is now, obviously they could have been something they spent over amount, but it also could just show that in the end there are costs they didn't account for, and that obviously they need more than $9,000. I think $13,575 depends what they're spending it on. I know that I think it's partly for speakers as well, right? Is that part of the spending?
Right.
Yeah, speakers are cheap. But I mean, we do have, like I said, it's 21,000 actually, but and we have about I think 3 or 4 weeks left. That last week most likely there won't be any bill on the table unless somebody's going to spend it in the summer. But actually, no, there couldn't be, because if somebody put the bill in the last week, if the president should veto it, well then the veto can't be overturned. So that last Senate meeting is not going to have anything. So that means there's really 3 weeks, I believe, left of like actually voting on legislation. So I think that if the Senate's called it a field, though, if they feel that that 13,000 is going to be if 13,000 is the proper amount. But remember, there is also the contingency. Let me go pull that out right now. So we have a contingency of 29,000. So if we have to, we could just go into that. But I don't expect we're going to be spending over 50,000 the next week, where you'd also overspend on contingency.
Thank you. How much did the CLCC ask for last year? Because if I remember correctly, it got significantly cut on the table. So 9,000 was granted, but I thought it was more. If you have that.
It was 9,000.
I think the bill was significantly cut too.
They're 6-2. That's good. Who's right now in the D-backs right now? Timmy, for some reason, just ever since Paul Goldschmidt came to the league, you don't have that type of downs minutes. Ever since he came to the league, he just started hitting it. He just sees him very well. It's ridiculous.
I hate basketball.
No.
Baseball.
It's hockey. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, hockey, sorry.
And then, but teams doing, they're doing well. I mean, Hudson had a good game yesterday, and teams doing well, doing home runs. Oh, Captain America, see it. Really good.
It was alright.
Really good movie.
There was a Native American protest about the Braves and Redskins.
What do we mean, Braves? Redskins are the football.
I'm on the Braves and the Redskins. They were
But yeah, but you mean like, was it Braves? Like, I was a Braves Indians.
Jermaine, cough, cough.
Adam, we had a time check on what? We had a time check on We have a couple minutes left.
What?
3 minutes left. 3 minutes.
Oh, actually, no.
Maybe somebody else could bring it up on their faster moving internet.
That's why it takes an adamantium bullet. Well, it doesn't kill us.
No, I mean, I'm out early.
I love our board conversations.
I saw 9,000 on wait, no, without.
Oh, but see, 9,000 could have changed though. That's the problem. I don't have the
budget.
original.
We get the ball.
The budget, this probably changed.
Yeah.
No.
It looks.
Let's see, 2, 3,
4, 5,
5, 6, that.
It's like 15,000.
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
15,000.
What?
Last year, how much they asked?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
so, yeah, they asked for a little bit more, but they only got 9,000, but, okay.
14,800.
Okay. So, yeah, that's how much they asked last year.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. Thank you for coming up.
Okay, good.
All right. We're now moving on to public forum. Members of the public, you can speak. We can't answer back. You have 5 minutes each.
So now I'm speaking on behalf of the Department of Public Safety. That's where I work. So for the last 4 months, the Violence Prevention Program, which is a branch underneath the Department of Public Safety, has been planning Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which is happening now. I hope some of you went to check out the activities last week, but just to update you on some of the things that are coming up. Let's see, on the 14th, which is Monday, there's a webinar that's going to be happening at Merced College with one of the most renowned psychological doctors. He's going to be talking about the psychological effects of rape and sexual assault. There's a tabling that's going to be happening on Tuesday about where you can refer people who have undergone sexual assault. And then this is a big one. Unfortunately, Senate will be meeting during it, but hopefully the meeting will get out early enough that you can go check it out. Sabrina Sadler, who she was a student and underwent sexual assault, she's going to be speaking about finding strength as a survivor of that type of incident. And it's going to be very, incredibly moving. If you look up her name, you can see some really great things about her. So check that out. That's 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Hopefully Senate will get out soon enough that you'll be at least able to catch some of it or go speak to her. And there's going to be a speaker series with people from the Violence Prevention Program, Counseling and Psychological Services in the Valley Crisis Center next Thursday. That's going to be from 3 to 4. I'm going to post the schedule on our page just so you all have it. But please attend these events and push these out to your constituents. We're also participating in Art Hop. So yeah, you're going to get all of these, but I highly suggest this is something the Diversity Commission has worked on. I've worked on it personally for other things. This is something you need to tell your constituents about. So please, please, please do that. Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public? Again, if you ask questions, we can't talk, so don't do it.
Hi, Valerie Smart, Editor-in-Chief of The Prodigy. I hope you enjoyed the Protege issue. It was really, 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 really fun to make it. I hope you didn't take it too seriously. The administration followed up and asked me about campus pets. So it was just April Fool's. Other than that, we're coming out again on Thursday, and you can check us out. We're tabling James has a really funny, I don't know if it's funny, but it's a very appropriate photo for our inappropriate ampersand column, which is our sex and relationships column. And other than that, I hope this meeting goes swiftly. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Zaida and I'm supporting the Chicano Latino Council. I would just ask you for your support on our bill. This year we are just a few people working on organizing everything, but although it's just 4 of us, there's more participants this year, and please just keep in mind that we're not organizing the Chicano Latino Commencement for our students, but we're organizing it because of our families and everyone that is being involved. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public who would like to speak? See anybody? I don't see anyone. Going once, going twice. Okay. All right. We're moving on to old business. Bill number 74, the Chicano Latino Council. Do I have a motion? Senator Longo.
I move that we approve Bill number 74, Chicano Latino Council.
So it has been moved. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Garland. Any discussion?
Committee report.
Oh, yes. Sorry. You get your introduction.
Well, committee reports first, right?
Oh, I thought it was the introduction first. And then whatever. All right. Committee reports.
Approved by Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance. Approved. Okay. Academic Affairs. Senator Rosenberg.
Nothing to report.
Student activities.
Do not have forums.
Okay. Student advocacy.
We have a lot of questions that we sent specifically to Senator Garay. We got most of the answers back, but at the time we didn't know what was happening, so we disproved.
Okay. You have your introduction.
Yes. Sorry Emmanuel couldn't be here. He asked me to introduce the bill for him. Obviously we funded this event in the past, and yes, despite there being a deficit, I will be making a motion right after this. Emmanuel's given me permission to make a fairly large cut to the bill in terms of the gala, as Harriet requested earlier when we posted on Facebook. So when it comes down to it, as I said, this bill is mostly for the families of those who are graduating. An event like this can be incredibly important to communities of first-generation students at our university. And honestly, I can't really find much wrong with this bill. I would not be doing this unless I fully supported Emmanuel in trying to get this bill passed. So I think it's a fairly simple one. They're not asking for too much. They want help with the speaker, as well as some of the facilities and other costs associated directly with the actual event itself. As for the gala, I will cut that right when we move into discussion likely. I honestly think it's very simple. There's not much I really can say about this because it's fairly self-explanatory. They're going to be doing a graduation ceremony. The families are going to be able to participate, and I do believe it's an experience worth allowing them to have for another year.
All right. I'm opening discussion on this bill.
Okay. I move to cut $5,700 from the bill from the gala section of the budget to make the total $7,875 for the bill.
And you're an introducer.
Yes.
Okay.
I would need approval for the rest of my introducers.
Yes.
There's only the manual.
Who are the other introducers?
No, right there. It's just
Oh, okay. On this bill, it has a bunch of other senators on it.
It's just you and Emmanuel.
Oh, officially? Okay, yeah. Then yeah.
Then it's fine. Yes. Okay. So what was the amount?
$5,700. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So that just means the $7,875 is now the official total.
Right.
It's right up there in the total above it, $7,875.
Okay. The bill has been cut to $7,825. Senator He.
I just wanted, Amanda didn't really get an answer on my questions, but please excuse me. But I wonder if, since they're bringing such a important and influential speaker, is there any way that possibly any other students can go just to watch him speak?
Senator Daniel.
I understand the concern about the gala, but personally, I don't feel that cutting the gala without consulting with the organization, throwing the event first. So I would like to yield the floor to Saida to explain the reason behind the gala.
Reasons in the bill.
Well,
include a gala this year or have a gala.
Senator Zisser.
So I have a question for you. Also, so what makes this graduation different from the UC Merced graduation? Because you mentioned graduation is a
Right,
what
so
specifically?
the family gets to, for the general commencement, it's always just the student walking across the stage, getting their certificate, being recognized. But actually, people who participate, or students, graduates who participate in the Channel Latino graduation ceremony get to choose two people. It could be their two parents or whoever has helped them get through school and bring them across the stage. So we have to keep in mind that a lot of our graduate participants are like first-time college student generations graduating, and so a lot of their parents have never walked across the stage. So just walking across the stage with the student makes the family feel accomplished as well. So I think that that's one of the ways we include our families. Also, a lot of the parents are Spanish speaking, and they don't understand a lot of what's said during commencement. So it's very important for them to also be a part of that and fully understand what's going on. So that's
Senator Daniel.
I have a question for you. Instead of having the gala at the Merced Gateway Gardens, would it be possible to hold it in the Lakeview dining room? Because I know that room has a capacity of 275 people without breaking fire code, and the catering would be slightly cheaper, and they have their own sound system instead. So you could possibly have someone probably from Hip Hop Movement's DJ branch come out and actually DJ for it, and then there's student photographers. So just to kind of like give you alternatives.
Oh no, we're definitely open for suggestions and stuff. So I know that I did talk to the Merced Gateway Gardens, and they were willing to well, at first they wanted to charge us something outrageous, and then I went ahead and let them know it's kind of impossible and out of our budget. So they went ahead and they were working with us to get that lowered, but I'll definitely look into that.
President Brandon, is it really informative, or you wish to speak freely?
Hmm?
Do you wish to speak freely, or is it
It's a
really informative?
suggestion, but yes.
I think someone would have to give the floor to you then.
It's not, I do a point of information on one.
Okay. Senator Zisser.
You on the floor, President Brandon?
Cool, thank you. So on this, they got $9,000 last year. This is just a suggestion, but the primary cost of the gala is $3,600. And I see some things that are pretty cool there, like being able to take a photograph afterwards and stuff like that, decorations. I mean, a lot of those are really cheap things. That if you're able to just slightly increase it past a little bit, 9,000, remove the food, you can still have a really cool event. I don't know if this is something that was agreed ahead of time, but I don't see a reason necessarily cut this past 9,000. Because that, I think, adds a lot to it. It gives the family a keepsake of that event and allows them to have kind of a reception afterwards, which otherwise wouldn't exist. So I think that enhances the event for, I don't know, maybe 1/5 of the cost. It will really provide a lot more time, a lot more engagement. So my suggestion would be to keep the venue, keep the DJ and photography, and keep the decorations as a kind of minimum. There to actually have a gala afterwards, because I think a gala could still happen, it'd just be without food. My suggestion.
Okay. Go Senator Zisser, Senator Meyer, Senator Daniel.
So a quick question. Last year when you guys had this, were the students that attended this graduation, did they also attend the shower engineering one also, or did just one?
No, we also, we have everyone, it's open to everybody who wants to participate. It doesn't have to be Shaw, it could be anybody. So whoever wants to participate can. They just have to fill out the Intel form to pay the fee to participate. And then if you allow me to, the gala isn't after the graduation.
Senator Mondo?
Guys, let's keep the conversation on the table and on the bill at hand, because the gala's been cut already. We can try and save money for it somewhere else, but in the end, the money is theirs to use to spend how they want to on whatever they want to when it comes to the event. That's how these bills technically work. When it comes down to it, though, I was instructed by the original Introductory General Manual to cut this from the bill. He was okay with it. They seem to be okay with it. They haven't been arguing with it. So let's move on from the gala and discuss the merits of what remains, because that's the most important part of this, the actual ceremony itself.
Senator Daniel.
Well, I do agree with that. Overall, I do agree with many of the merits of the whole thing. I just feel like there should be a bit more to them. We shouldn't give them less money than we did last year. So I would like to make a friendly amendment to at least increase their the amount given to them to 9,000.
No.
Accept? Okay. Do you make a formal motion of that?
I move to increase their total amount to 9,000.
So it is moved. There's a second. Motion dies.
No,
Oh,
Second.
you were
Second.
seconding. Okay. Seconded by Senator Tease. Discussion.
Again, asked by the original introducer to put it at that point. That's enough for them to hold the actual event. I can't really much advocate for increasing a budget on something that something they haven't actually planned for, because what you'd be giving them is enough for the event, but not enough for the gala. So I don't know. I'm in support of this, but I don't believe it's necessary to increase it to where it is. And also, mind you, our financial situation, $9,000 is down to almost half of what remains. So we have 21,000 left. I do believe 1/3 going to this of our remaining budget is adequate enough, and I want to be able to support this event in every way possible, while still being fiscally responsible.
Senator He.
I think that just naming an arbitrary number like 9,000, it's not really a good thing. Like, there's no, give a specific reason to raise it to 9,000. Don't just say, oh, they got this last year. I mean, I could say they got 6,000 last year. How would we give them 6,000? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Senator Wong.
Also, if the introducer said it's okay, it's probably because he already had a conversation with the people who are asking for the money, and they're okay with it. So I'm not sure why we're spending so much time dedicating specifically on that part instead of worrying about other parts of making sure that the entire event is okay, or that it's gonna be well.
Senator Daniel.
As someone that's done a lot of planning for events, I feel like just because you have enough for the bare minimum, you would want to give them enough money to give so they can have, like, let's say a grade A event. We don't want to give them enough money to have like, the bare minimum. The only reason why I'm saying increase it to 9,000 is knowing that, let's say that they chose Lakeview Dining Center, right? It holds 275. That's enough for the participants and their families. The fees for like DJ and photography would be included in that. They can go through catering to special order a cake and refreshments, decorations. It would give them, it'd be slightly cheaper. They wouldn't have to go through the catering food, but they would be able to actually get a cake through dining and whatnot. So it would remain some of the gala, because a commencement ceremony and a gala, the whole idea overall is together it makes the commencement, because there is, like our own commencement, there is a graduate reception. So this is just keeping in the spirit of the overall event, like the original spirit of the bill.
Senator Brandon, is it merely informative, or do you wish to speak freely?
He's up before yielded to him.
Yeah, I can call on him if it's a point of information.
It's not a point.
Okay.
He would say
then
them.
Senator Mondo.
Zach, I get what you're trying to do, but they need to decide to do that on their own to go to Lakeview Dining Room. And so far, they've given no objections to the current number that we've given them. And I do trust the numbers they've given us thus far in trying to throw a grade A event for what they've actually for what they have. So I'd say if they want money for the gala, they'll probably find a way to. But as of right now, I haven't heard or seen any objections to the current number they have. And they even said themselves that a gala at that size may be hard for them to control and put on. And so I would trust them with that there. So I don't necessarily see the need to move it to 9,000, especially considering her 9,000 is an arbitrary number. And though you may understand the ins and outs of dining services and how to get certain rooms and things, that's their decision to make, and one that they may or may not have all the information on to do correctly. Something that I know all the senators here do not necessarily have all the information on, except for maybe you.
Senator Daniel.
Just to add, to refute only one point, they did say that they have several organizations helping them out, and I know from the organizations involved that many of them have the manpower and dedication to actually run the event. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Senator Jones.
We're getting way off topic. The club provided us with a specific budget breakdown. They did the math for the money, and they were okay with this. Senator Gray sent out an email with the questions, the preliminary questions that we were supposed to ask clubs, and on that list was where would they feel most comfortable cutting, and they said the gala, and we cut that, and they're okay with that. So I don't understand what this keep going around about is. I called a question.
There's been a motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Wong. Any discussion?
I believe that.
No discussion, Mr.
Oh, wait. No, there's. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay. So, we're moving to a vote. All in favor of ending discussion? Senator Jones, Senator Prado, Senator Rosenberg, Tease, Zisser, He, Mondo, Wong, and Taylor. All opposed? Senator Garland and Daniel. Okay, the motion passes. We're moving on to a vote on the motion to raise the amount to $9,000. All in favor? Senator Tees and Senator Daniel. All opposed? Senator Jones, Prado, Rosenberg, Zisser, He, Mondo, Wong, Taylor, and Garland. All right, the motion does not pass. We're moving back into discussion. Senator Daniel.
I yield the floor to President Brandon.
Thank you. On Senator Jones' point, I think it's very obvious that for the Chicano Latino Commencement Committee, they would not pick commencement as the event to cut. Preferably it would be the gala, but really what we're doing is trying to get the most bang for our buck in student engagement and equality of this event. And spending $8,000 for an event that is the primary purpose, if we can add a little bit more that really does increase that student experience, that's a big thing. My suggestion was not necessarily arbitrary. I think 9,000 was Senator Daniels tend to compromise between two numbers, one I suggested and one the current bill is. Also, the organization submitted a budget proposal for more than $8,000. It was the senator that introduced the bill that decided to cut it. So the organization, of course, is looking to get funding. They're going to work with ASUCM, but that doesn't mean that's the amount we're looking for. A specific number, adding the 850 venue, adding the 500 DJ photography, and adding the 200 decorations to the event, which is adding $1,515 to an $8,000 event that I think will make that a much more memorable and quality experience for students. So that's just to clarify some of the discussion. There is a specific number. There's a reason for it. Obviously, that explains kind of why they would say what they prefer to be cut. I don't think if they said they prefer nothing to be cut, nothing would be cut. So, that shouldn't be taken as permission as, oh, it's okay to cut this much out of the proposal. It doesn't affect the organization.
Anyone else back in discussion? Anyone else who'd like to speak? All right, we are moving on to a vote. All in favor of approving this bill, bill number 74? All in favor? Senator Garland, Senator Taylor, Senator Wong, Senator Mondo, Senator Reed. It's unanimous. Right. Moving on to bill number 75, the constitutional amendments referendum, which is for Senator Daniel. Senator Daniel.
A motion to table indefinitely.
There's been a motion to table indefinitely for a second. Seconded by Senator Garland. Any discussion? All right. We're now moving to a vote. All in favor of tabling bill number 75 indefinitely? Senator Garland, Senator Taylor. That's unanimous. Okay, bill number 75 has been tabled indefinitely. Moving on to new business. Bill number 76, the ASUCM Club Event Archive. Do I see a motion? Senator Zisser.
Motion to send bill number 76 to all committees.
So it has been motioned. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator He. Any discussion? Senator Daniel.
As stated in the financial bylaws, since the nature of this bill edits the financial bylaws by adding a clause, it has to be introduced by the chair of Budget and Finance, Senator Mondo. So sending it to all committees would be a violation of the financial bylaws.
Senator Mondo.
I do think that the introducer bill can edit the bill when it comes and just add me on there before it goes sent to committee, I guess, or something like that, right? Just put my name on there. I mean, I'll talk him through to make sure, because I haven't read the bill yet. I need to actually read the bill and figure out what I actually feel about it, but we can't send it out to committee to read it all without my name being on it, I guess. So it's however you want to handle it, Jared.
Can I add his name on the introduced by?
It's at the introducer's discretion.
Sure. It's their own guidelines anyway. So Senator Mondo has been added. Robert's rules is only guidelines anyway. So, Senator Zisser, it's still your motion.
A motion to add Senator.
He's already been added. Your motion is still on the table. So is there any discussion on it? Okay, we're moving to a vote then. Unless you'd like to rescind your motion. Okay, we're moving to a vote. All in favor of sending this bill to all committees? Senator Daniel, are you stepping away from the table?
Yes.
Okay, so we have all senators save Senator Jones. All opposed? All in favor of sending this bill to all committees? Okay, now it's unanimous. Okay, bill number 76 has been sent to all committees. Bill number 77, the Black Graduation Ceremony. Introduced by Senator Daniel. Senator Daniel, you may speak.
I move to send to all committees.
There's been a motion to send it to all committees. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Zisser. Discussion. Okay. All in favor of sending this bill to all committees? It's unanimous. Okay, bill number 77 has been sent to all committees. Moving on to announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? Senator Daniel?
Advertise the Facebook event for the Dining Services Board. There will be happening emails sent out once I have time to draft the email, but it is imperative that everyone in ASUCM advertises the event. It's one of the most talked about student issues. It's brought up a lot. Advertise it.
Senator Galen?
I have quite a few announcements. So first, Bobcat Day, once again, is this Saturday from 9 to 2 p.m. around the Tomlinson Kesey Quad. If you don't know what that is, it's near the beginning statue, all around the area, from COB to S&E. So please go out there and support your fellow Bobcats. The gauntlet for PAA is this Sunday in the Obama Bowl. It will be there basically all day, basically, and you will see a variety of clubs and organizations out there doing very interesting physical activities such as crab walking. The Ohana Luau is also this Sunday night, also in the Tomlinson Kesey Quad, aka New Beginning statue, so you should also check that out Sunday night. And once again, my office hours are 10 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the Lantern. And you can also call me at 818-263-9836 if you have any comments, questions, complaints. Otherwise, I will think that I'm generally doing my job right. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gallo. Are there any other announcements? Senator Mondo.
Just like to thank those who showed up for Opportunity in Action last Friday and a little more information for you about everything that happened at next week's Senate meeting. But just for now, thank you for coming and all your support. We had a great time, and Ivan gave an amazing speech of that at the summit. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Steve.
Just a reminder to everyone, leadership applications are due Friday by noon. So if you're interested in attending the summer program for leadership from June 2nd to the 8th, look into that application. I said that it happened as a reminder this morning. So if you're interested in a week-long intensive leadership development experience, fill out an application.
Any other announcements? Okay. Moving on to adjournment. Senator Mondo.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, there's been a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Taylor. Discussion? Any opposed? All right. We're adjourned.
Hey guys, we got up
Everybody?
for 9.